Hello friends, welcome to another video of Mockito series. In this video, we are learning about how to run unit tests of a void method. So a void method has a signature of public void method name. Its return type is void. When we are working with void methods, when and then methods are not enough. Mockito provide explicitly methods to help in Mockito objects with a void return type method. Following are some methods in Mockito which we can use to test void method. First is do nothing. It is used to set void method to do nothing. Do throw. It stubs a void method to throw an exception behavior. Do answer. It stubs a void method with a generic answer. Do call real method. It is used to call the real implementation of a void method. Let us understand these features in our code. So for example of void method, I have created a bookDAO class in our DAO folder. And in that I have created a saveBook method which has a return type void. And it takes two input. First is string book name. Second is integer index. And it calls book library dot add method and puts to add method. Now, for example of test, I have created a void test dot bookDAO void example class. In this, I have just created a plain and simple mock of bookDAO and just added a before is setup method. In this, let's first write test case for do nothing. First, let's call our bookDAO dot say book method. Let's give some input book comma 1. Now let's verify that this method is called. We are verifying say book method with any string and any int. Now let's tell our test that whenever the say book method is called, do nothing for that. For that we will call Mockito do nothing when book DAO dot say book any string comma any int. So its structure is quite same like our verify. We need to use when, and the save book method comes after the closing of when method. Do nothing comes here first. So this is the main structure of do nothing method. Green now. Now let's test our second method. Now this is the example of do throw. So I'll call this say book method and test that whenever I'm calling this method an assertion. So whenever I'm calling this method, an exception is coming for that. So for that, I'll just first write my test assert throw. I'll check that any null pointer exception dot class exception is coming or not. Whenever I'm whenever I'm calling this method book DAO dot save. So I have written my assertion here. Now let's tell our test that whenever this save book method is called, throw an exception of null pointer exception. So for this we will use Mockito dot do throw. In do throw we will pass the exception we want, and then we just call the same structure when bookDAO dot say book any string comma any int. So this is the structure of do throw. It's same as our do nothing. It just replaces do throw and it takes a input of exception class. Let's run this method. Our test is green now. So it helps us in writing negative test cases. Next is example of do answer. So for that I use this books.save, and I don't need this verify. I'll tell you why. I'll do the assertions at some other place. So now I'll use mockito.doAnswer. DoAnswer has a invocation type, and we need to return a null here. The reason of returning null is that savebook is a void method. After this, we need to call our dot when bookdow dot savebook any string comma any int. So this is the structure of do answer. Now I'll do my assertion, but in this block. So we can test our arguments here, which are we are passing to savebook method, and check that savebook is doing something with these input arguments or not. For now, we will just assert it. We can manipulate the data here in do answer for this method. So for example, we have two arguments. So first argument will be a string, and it will be the book name. Second argument will be an integer, which will be the index. Argument will start from 0. Now let's test with our assertions. Assert equal that book name is equal to book. So we have passed book here, so that is the actual. Now let's test our index. That is 1. I need to keep index as integer. I was getting a warning from assert equal that the objects are not equal. Now let's run this test. Its output is green. Now let's write our test case for do call real method. For this, I'll just copy this code of first method. Now I'll just tell here that whenever bookdow.savebook with any string, any integer is called, do call the real method. So it just represents the same thing whatever its name. So whenever savebook method is called, it will call the real method, not the Mockito version of bookdow.savebook. It will call the real method here. So it is also called a partial mocking with the help of do call real method. So when I run this test, I'll get an error here. So when I go here and debug this test, so in debugging, let's go what is happening in savebook method. So savebook method, we are getting book library as a null object. So we have not mocked it, we have not done anything with book library object. That's why it is null here. And savebook is really called here, not a mock version of savebook method, not a mock version of savebook method. That's why I am getting a null object here, and inside a null I am calling add method. So that is why I am getting a null pointer exception. I hope you understand these examples. In this 4 ways we can write our test cases for void methods. Let me know if you have any doubt or any question in comment section. Thank you.